AP, Beijing businesses applauded China's move to lift travel quarantines for international tourists as a crucial step toward reviving the country's flagging economic activity, while Japan on Tuesday put restrictions on foreign visitors as the number of infections rose. As it strives to reverse an economic downturn, the ruling Communist Party abruptly decided to loosen some of the harshest antivirus measures in the world. The epidemic has lifted restrictions that kept millions of people inside their homes and spurred protests, but as it spreads, hospitals are now overrun with wheezing, feverish patients. Also on Monday, the authorities lowered the COVID-19 virus's official seriousness and decided not to require infected individuals to be quarantined. That accelerated a steady drumbeat of actions to remove restrictions that were planned to last at least until the middle of 2023. Colm Rafferty, the chairman of the American Chamber of Commerce in China, stated in a statement that it feels like China has finally turned the corner. Abolishing the quarantine, according to him, clears the way for resumption of normal business travel, which was the single major hurdle to travel. Business organizations have warned that corporations are diverting investment away from China as a result of the ban on foreign CEOs visiting. In the meantime, Japan announced that as a temporary emergency step in response to the country's outbreak of diseases, starting on Friday, all visitors from China will be subjected to viral tests. According to Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, visitors who test positive would be quarantined for a week. In order to be safe, he added, Japan would likewise scale back its proposed rise in the number of flights between China and Japan. In Japan, there are mounting concerns, according to Kishida. A spokeswoman for the Foreign Ministry defended China's response to the most recent breakouts. Wang Wenbin stated that the Chinese government has always adhered to the notion of science-based and targeted measures. In order to maintain travel safety and promote a stable and sound recovery of the world economy, he urged for a science-based response and coordinated strategy. The ruling party, on the other hand, has gradually joined the U.S. administration and other nations that are attempting to live with the virus by treating cases rather than enacting broad quarantines on towns or neighborhoods starting last month. On November 11, the ruling party announced adjustments that they claimed were meant to lessen disruptions following a decline in economic activity. Following the protests that broke out on November 25 in Shanghai and other cities, more adjustments were announced. Although the government has ceased releasing figures for all cases countrywide, certain localities have made statements that suggest at least tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions, of individuals may have become infected since the outbreak started in early October. Beijing has come under fire for easing curbs too quickly in response to the breakouts. According to officials, the wave started before the adjustments. A health official stated last week that China only includes deaths from pneumonia or respiratory failure in its official COVID-19 toll. That leaves out other deaths that other nations might attribute to COVID-19. 1 to 2 million deaths are expected in China by the end of 2023, according to experts. On November 29, the National Health Commission announced the launch of a campaign to increase older Chinese people's immunization rates. Foregoing a healthcare catastrophe, according to health experts, is essential. The National Health Commission withdrew COVID-19 from the list of ailments that call for quarantine on Monday after downgrading it from a Class A infectious disease to a Class B sickness. Authorities would no longer identify close connections in flag regions as having a high or low risk of infection, according to the statement.